Hey loves, I hope you are well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial we are going to do a Cleopatra bag. If you are a return subscriber, thank you very much. And if you're new here, you are in the right place. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and try our tutorial. Let's get to it. Here's everything that we are going to be using for this tutorial. A pair of circular handles, 4mm hook, and we're going to be using 500 grams of polyester yarn. It is the same as this orange yarn, I just don't have it in brown. Lever tail of about 6 inches and make a slip knot. We are going to make 25 single crochets on our handle. That is going to cover like half of our handle, leaving the other half open. So go under your handle with your crochet hook, yarn over and pull through that single loop on your crochet hook. That is like slip stitching, but it is going to act as our first single crochet. Then to continue, you go under your hook once again, yarn over, pull through to the top side of the handle, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. That is our second single crochet. Let's do this again. Okay, so go under your handle with your hook, yarn over, bring it to the top side of the handle, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Do it again under the handle, yarn over, bring it to the top side of the handle, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. We have already done about 5 stitches now. Continue doing this till you get 25. There we go, we have our first row done. Do a count of your stitches just to confirm that you have made 25 single crochets on your hook. It's better to be safe than sorry. Then turn your handle around. We are going now to slip stitch on the back loops of the single crochets that we have made. So go into the back loop only, yarn over, and pull through the loop on your hook. Into the back loop again, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Continue doing this till you cover all the 25 single crochets that we made initially. Make sure you slip stitch to the very last one that appeared like a slip stitch when we were single crocheting. When you count your stitches now, these are supposed to be 26. So let me explain how we are going to work with our 26 stitches. For these 26 stitches, we are going to divide them into segments. 4, a division, 3, then 8 in the middle, then 3 again, then 4. These divisions are increases. So after the first 4 stitches, we are going to do an increase. Then we do 3, an increase. Then in the middle, we'll have 8 stitches, an increase. Then 3 again, an increase. Then finally 4. There is nothing difficult about that part. For our second row, we are going to start alternating our increases from left to right. So on the first side of the 8, we are going to have our increases on the left, and on the other side of the 8, we are going to have our increases on the right. And as we continue, we are going to alternate from left to right for the next 6 rows. Let me show you how to do this practically. I know it sounds a little bit difficult, but it is very, very easy. So we have to be very careful for the next 6 rows and alternate from left to right without making a mistake. If you have a stitch marker, count 4 and mark there, count 3, mark there, count 8, put a stitch marker there, then count 3 again, put a stitch marker, and you'll have 4 left at the end. Unfortunately, I've never been a stitch marker kind of girl, so I don't have one. I'm just going to manually count. I have zoomed in so that I can clearly show you where our first row of single crochet is going to go, and it's going to go into these spaces. I hope you can clearly see. So look at your work and find these spaces, and that's where we are going to make our first row of single crochets. For the first one, go into that first space. It's a bit tight for this first row. Yarn over, pull through to the other side, remove your crochet hook from both the yarns and go into it from the front, then pull through. We are going to do this for all our first single crochets. That is to make sure that we have that V right there. Then continue to the second one, the way we normally single crochet, and the third one, and the fourth one. finished our first 4 single crochet, it's time to do our increase. So we are going to single crochet 2 into the same space. That's the first one, then the second one, and that's our first increase. Then we are going to proceed and do 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and do another increase. Go twice into the same spot, 1 and 2. At this point we are going to proceed to do 8 single crochets before we do our next increase. We have our 8 single crochets, so we do our increase right here, 1, then 2, then proceed to do 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. Here we'll do an increase again, 2 single crochets into the same space, and finalize with 4 single crochets right there, making sure we work up to the very last stitch, which looks like just a piece of yarn right there. After every row we turn our work and slip stitch through the back loop. So here I am again slip stitching on the back loop until I get to the end of my row. We are going to start our second row of single crochet, working them into the V spaces formed by our first row of single crochets, and we are going to alternate our increases from right on this side and left on the other side. So let's do that. As always, our first single crochet, you go into the space there, the first V, pull over your yarn, remove your crochet hook and go into it from the front, making the first V that we will need to work into later. Then continue to single crochet, 1, 2. The secret is to loosen your yarn as much as possible. That way you won't have to struggle the way I am struggling to pull my yarn here. After making a number of bags, I have realized that the looser the yarn, the better. So we have made that's our 4th one now. So let's do our increase. Go into that space twice. That is going to be our first increase. There we have it. Then proceed to do the following stitches before you do your other increase on the right side again. So just remember that we are doing on the right side on this side. So there's our second increase. Go twice into that space. Then proceed to do 8 single crochets. So after the 8 stitches, now we are doing our increases on the left. So go into the first one, just okay, 1 single crochet. Then the increase now on the left side, 2 single crochets into that space. Then proceed to do a number of single crochets in the middle there. That's the third one. There's supposed to be 4 since we are moving to the left one. So we'll do a single crochet on this side and do 2 single crochets on the left side now. That's our final increase. Then finish this row with the 4 single crochets that are remaining there. once again, let's turn our work and slip stitch on the back loops till we get to the end of that row. So there we have it. We're going to turn our work, and on this row that we've just completed, on this side we were doing our increases on the right, so it's time to alternate and do them on the left. And on this other side we were doing our increases on the left, so when on this row we will do them on the right. So let's go on, start our row like we were doing for the first stitch. Go into the first space, always remember to remove your crochet hook at this point. Go into it from the front. That's our first stitch. Continue with the single crochets. So it's time to do our increase now. The other row we did it on the first stitch, now we are doing it on the second stitch. There's our increase. We are going to do the same there, and on this side remember to alternate to the other side. So we are going to do these alternations for the next 6 rows. We have already done 2, so continue till we have 6. Look at that. I hope your work is looking like this. We have done 6 rows on our handles now, and we are going to work on creating the depth of the bag. How we do this is by first removing 6 stitches. So count 6 stitches and put your stitch marker on the 7th one. We are going to work up to the 7th one on this side and the same on this side. So count 6 again, put your stitch marker on the 7th one. So we are going to be working on the depth, and by the time we are done, we are going to have the width is going to reduce, and we will be working now on the depth. So turn your work and start slip stitching on the back loops again, that we have been doing, and only do this until you get to the 7th point where you put a stitch marker like that. So we have left out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are starting from the 7th stitch, and when you look at this, it's next to our increases. Here we did our increase on the left, here on the right. So on this row we are going to do it on the left again. So we have 1 stitch before the increase, so we are going to work on that one first. Remember how we start our rows. Go into the space, yarn over, pull through, remove your hook, work it from the front, then continue to do our second one. Now that's where the increases are. After the increase, continue with your single crochets till you get to the next point where we are supposed to do our next increase. So again, here's our second increase point. Alternate from left to right depending on how we are working, and then the same on this other side. Remember, we are only working up to the 7th point. So count your 6. I hope you have a stitch marker, or if you're counting manually like me, just count and remember to work up to there. So our first row of reduction is done. We have removed 6 stitches from our bag, not 7, sorry. On the second row we are going to remove 3 stitches again from the same row. What I mean is that you're going now to count 3 from this point, and you're going to put your stitch marker on the 4th one. So when we are doing the back loops, we are going to work our back loops only up to the 4th one. And when we are coming back to now single crochet, we are going to only single crochet up to the 4th one on this side. So there will be like a -3 there. Then there's a -2, which happens 3 times. So it's -2, -2, -2. Then 3 again, -3 again. Then finally -4. These are going to add up to 7 stitches, because it's -6, -3, -2, 3 times. That's already 5. Then -3, -4 again. So by the time we are done, our pattern we should have reduced all this place, and our pattern should just be on this middle part. This is where our -4 should leave us. So it's 6, 3, 2, 2 2 3 then 4 again. That is the pattern that now we are going to work with for the next 7 rows. Let's proceed to work on the back loop of our -3 row and on the front single crochet till you get to the 4th last stitch, and continue with this pattern till we finish the 7th row. I have proceeded to do our pattern so far on our other handle, so I have 2 sides now. From this point now we are going to slip stitch on the back loop till we get to the very end of where we started our reduction. I'm going to show you how to slip stitch on these stairs, but this straight part is very easy, just what we have been doing. On this other side we already have slip stitches done on the back loops because it's the side where we were working from before. So start your slip stitching on the back loops till you get to the end of this straight line here, and I'm going to show you where to go into when we start now going down our reduction lines. So I still have the very last stitch to go into, this one right here, but I am not going to go into that one. Instead I am going to go into this line behind it, that one. There are 2 lines there, that one and this one. This one we skip and continue to work on the back loops here. Again, when you get to the last one here, we are going to work on this line behind it. Skip that one, continue to the back loops of our other crochets, that line there. Hope you see it. Then you skip the next one again and continue to work on the back loop there. Work on this one behind. That is the one we are going to go into. So every time you get to the end of a row, remember that you're slip stitching into that back line behind the stitch, skipping the next line that is right next to it and continuing to the next row where you can clearly see the back loops of our crochet stitches. So proceed to do that until you get to the very last one. It's very easy to miss it, but again there's that line behind our stitch there. So slip stitch till you get to that point, and this is what we have now. For our next row we are going to do a row from this end to the other end with increases. This is going to be our last row with increases, and as you can see here is our first increase. So we did it previously on the left side, so here we are going to do it on the right side. Then proceed to work on every open stitch that we have here. Again, there is another increase right at the top here. Yeah, here is our second increase. We worked it again on the left side, so this time we are going to work it on the left side. So continue to start your row. Like I said, this is going to be our last row with increases, so don't miss them. Just single crochet until you get to the point with the increase and do your increase. Here is our first increase. Let's see, we did it on the left side before, so we are doing it on the right side now. Then continue with your single crochets till you get to your next increase and check which side it's supposed to be on. When you get to the side with the stairs, the other side right there with our reductions, you're just going to work single crochets down the stairs. Nothing difficult about it. Just remember to check your increases and do the increases accordingly. Wait a minute, have you subscribed to my channel? Please subscribe. And now we can already see our Cleopatra bag coming. I have gone ahead to do the slip stitch on the back loop of this entire row, so do that. And then we're going to proceed to do 3 rows without increases. We are done with the rows with increases, so 3 rows without increases. Always remember to back stitch on the slip stitch on the back loop apart from the 3rd row. When you get to the 3rd row, don't work on the slip stitch. I will show you how to do it. I've gone ahead to do the 3 rows of single crochet without increase on both sides, and now it's time to slip stitch. We are not going to slip stitch on the back loop, we are going to slip stitch on these pieces under our single crochet till we get to the end here. That is what we are going to use to join the 2 parts. So let me show you how to do it. Using a crochet hook, start from the very first one where your hook is, go under those 2 loops that are formed when single crocheting, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Go to the next one under these 2, yarn over, pull the yarn through and through the loop on your hook. So we are slip stitching from under these 2. That is what we are doing here, and we are going to continue doing that till we get to the end of this row. Like I said, this is what we are going to be using to join the bag, so we have to do this on this side and on the other side. So this is how it's supposed to look. It's like we are making another row of single crochets all around to this side. So this is how your work is supposed to look, and you've done it on both sides. So let's go to the joining part. That is what we will be using. So place one side of your bag on top of the other one. And before we proceed, kindly help me get to 1,000 subscribers. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. So here I've gone into the outer loop of the slip stitch row that we have made, and I'm going to join it to this other side, the outer loop only. Then yarn over and pull your yarn through all the 3 loops on your hook. So you must be having 3 loops on your hook. If you do not have 3 loops, something is wrong. So what I'm doing is going into the outer loop of the slip stitch row that we've just made on this side and on the other side, then yarning over from under the 2 sides of the bag and making sure I pull through all the 3 loops on my hook. So once again, when we are joining these parts, we're going to move from side to side. If you start on this side, the next one you start on this other side. So now I'm starting from this top side, then to the lower side, yarning over and pulling through all the 3 loops on my hook. So the previous one I started from the top, now I'm going to start from the bottom, taking the outer loop of this one and the outer loop of the top one, yarning over and pulling through all 3 loops on my hook. Then this side. So remember to alternate from side to side, and we're going to do this until we get to the end of our bag. That is how we join these bags. I hope you have created a similar beautiful bag, and now we are just going to do the finishing on this part and the other side. So pass your yarn over the handle. This is to ensure that our row of single crochet that we are about to do will be on the same level as the yarn on the hook. Then pull it to this side, yarn over and pull it to this side, and because we cannot leave the tail on that outside, we are going to also pull it to this side with our crochet hook. We are going to finish it later. Then go into the outer loop again of the single crochets that are available, yarn over and do a single crochet right there. So here once again we will be single crocheting on the outer loops, which are very visible. You can just see them, they're right there. Those are the ones we are going to do our single crochet on until we get to the other handle. So keep doing that, just making single crochet all through until you get to the other side where there is a handle. to do it until the very last stitch. Then wrap your yarn around the handle again, yarn over and slip stitch through the loop on your hook. That is it. That is what, do the exact same thing on the other side. Then cut your yarn, make sure you tighten it around the handle. Using your crochet hook, find a place to tuck it in inside there. After tucking it in, we're just going to burn it to make sure that our work is intact and it's not going to run. The first ever Cleopatra bag English tutorial is done and I am so excited. I hope you tried the tutorial. Can't wait to see what you made. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial and doing it. Please like, share, subscribe and leave a comment. Bye.